Okay, so we have to talk about this brand new live action trailer for One Piece that just premiered on this Netflix event in Brazil. But before we go into the trailer itself, we kind of have to understand a bit of the history here to understand the broader context, because when this was first unveiled, there was a lot of skepticism regarding the project, even though Oda was being announced to be involved with the project, superseeing and overseeing some of the production aspects of this series. You know, a lot of people had their doubts, like saying some of these characters or jokes or faces cannot really translate in the live action screen. It's too hard to be done. The story is way too long to be adapted into live action. The manga is not finished. Like, million different reasons, for good and worse, and some of those do absolutely have merit on them. But here's the thing we have to remember. There are definitely certain manga and anime which are much better to be adapted into the live action screen than others, and that's very granted. Like, we had good things like the City Hunter, and obviously Alita was amazing, and then we obviously had stuff which have basically flopped or failed and were not as good adaptations. But it doesn't mean that everything has to be exactly one-to-one to the source material. Things can be adjusted bit and bit to make it work and make it sensible. So that's kind of my 2 cents about people being generally against live action adaptations because they want to feel and experience everything in the anime format. I mean, that's a valid criticism, but it's not actually valid criticism not to do live action versions. You can still enjoy the original source material. I mean, the anime is not getting cancelled or anything. But let's kind of break down a bit of the trailer and what did I think about it and what I found good and bad. So, and first of all, I haven't read any comments whatsoever so far, so I kept out what other people are saying because I want to give you the very unbiased, unaffected opinion and not jumping off with the hype wagon or the hater wagon. I'm probably somewhere in the middle. So first and foremost, the designs and the casting here. Let's start with that. So casting, I think they did pretty good choices here. I think Nami's actor is really good. She seems to be extremely passionate about the project and very fanboy-esque about it, so very loyal. I think the Zoro's actor also looked really great. Sanji's actor looked really great. Usopp obviously turning to black now. I mean, he was kind of black obviously in the anime, I guess, and we didn't really see that much of him actually in this trailer, but I think it will kind of work. Obviously they didn't give him a nose job or anything, and that's totally fine. But I have to say the Luffy's actor choice is a total miss. This was very cringe, the way that he was talking, and even naming the abilities. I don't think they're going to be doing that. Just Luffy is the only character that's probably going to be using the abilities and then saying the Gomu Gomu no pistol or whatever. This is going to be I think they kind of even joke about it on the trailer that you're actually naming your moves, but that's not going to be a thing actually in live action because it wouldn't make a lot of sense. Now, we don't actually see that much CGI in the series. We see the sea creature, although, and that was actually really well done, and it's maybe a bit too realistic in my opinion, but that's maybe the direction that they are going for. And we get to see a bit of sword play by Zoro. I think it's bit too kind of slow, and maybe I wanted to see a bit more Wuxia style action there, and it doesn't feel super action heavy. It seems a bit more like Disney Channel vibe, and I got a lot of that actually in this trailer. But I don't think it's gonna be a massive failure, but I think it's gonna be having some aspects which are gonna be done well and some aspects which are just kind of poorly executed. I mean, we're not that far away from the whole series, and the props and the the ships, I think they look pretty good. It's we have to remember that this is a really hard IP to translate over to live action because of the designs and everything, as I mentioned. So we can't be too unfair about the artistic direction here. I think the outfits and everything, the colored hairs, I think most of that stuff is actually rather faithful to the OG, and I think they have done really good job of that, and I don't really have any complaints about that. But I really want to see a bit more closer up of these action scenes to kind of tell what are they going to be doing. Another major concern is, I think gonna easily say that filming on sea is fucking expensive. That's what I've been told. And it's probably 5 million per episode to film this. I don't know if they're 30-minute episodes or 1 hour minute episodes, but filming on sea is mega expensive, okay? That's something that we know. So I don't really believe this series can like last for 10 seasons. It's not gonna be having this Game of Thrones effect. It could, but it's not a guarantee that will happen. And what will happen when Chopper gets involved? It's not going to be probably in the first season. It's probably, I think that's where it's probably going to be ending. Somewhere around when they are going to be going into meeting with Chopper. That's probably going to be around where the first season is going to end. I think they're going to be skipping shit ton of stuff and maybe even integrating the arcs together, like the Arlong Park. We might not even see that all together. How is gonna Arlong look like? I honestly don't know. But I think I'm still gonna be very open-minded about it. But I think the only thing that really sticks out and I don't like right now, based on what I've seen, is Luffy and how Luffy talks. Then again, guys, there's always going to be that Japanese dub. If you like lip syncs, you can watch it in Japanese and it's going to be less cringe, okay? They maybe even use the original voice actors from One Piece, actually the voice characters, in this live action version. Maybe. I think it's possible. I think Japan is pretty close, there might be some licensing stuff and etc. But that might be a way to enjoy the series more. I saw a couple of the jokes here. They are a lot more, let's say, American Western style sarcastic jokes. One Piece is not really super sarcastic. That's not really part of the humor. It's kind of very cartoony, not in American sense, but in the Japanese sense. So look, it's not gonna be One Piece in terms of the anime just done in live action. It's going to be humor-wise different, maybe a bit more mature in certain senses, maybe appealing to certain more adult audience, and the action is going to be, by the looks of it, toned a bit down. But that doesn't mean it's going to be bad. And actually, in my opinion, this idea, which I just pitched out earlier, and you can leave your comments below, what do you think about this? But I think they're going to be skipping a lot of the stuff in this story, and I think they're going to be cutting out some necessary stuff, and it's fundamentally going to be a lot more faster story. The arcs are not going to be super dragged long, and obviously we saw I don't remember, it's been so long when I watched these first arcs, like Usopp introduction arc might be like very brief, for example, and obviously the Sanji introduction arc is probably going to be happening, but that, I don't know how, it's maybe 10, 12 episodes in the anime, but this might be like 2 when Sanji is going to be fighting, and actually we didn't see that. I'm still like, it can work. It's not going to be this 10 out of 10 show. I think this already granted from the trailer. It's going to have its more campy feel to it, and I think they put a lot of money into it. There's definitely some CGI there that I saw in the trailer, but it's too early to tell, obviously, and give a full verdict. There's going to be a lot of haters for this show, and there's going to be a lot of people who are absolutely going to love it as well. But I don't know if there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be preferring it over the anime. That's hard to say. Yeah, leave your comments down below and see what you think. I think Netflix is very invested on this IP, by the way. They're putting a lot of money into this, and the other project that they kind of unveiled at this event, which was the Last Airbender, they're doing a lot of that stuff, and actually that Last Airbender one is probably going to be a lot better than this One Piece live action one, because it's an IP that works a lot more better in live action, in my opinion. And also they have really like a dream cast here. I think a lot of the people in this One Piece are very known names, which is good because they're not going to be super expensive to hire. Obviously their salaries are going to go up per season, but the thing is, when you're building out a new IP, you don't want to exactly like, I don't want to see Ryan Seacrest or some shit like that. Like, I just want new actors in, and that's what they're delivering here. It's a new thing, and new blood, and new era, and let's see how it goes, guys. And I'm very curious to see what you guys think about this, and I will be seeing you in the next video. Cheers.